Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. She is sponsored Lelu Nishmas Arbiak Shalom and Leah Vasitzchuk. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Lamed Zayin, starting the Mishnah of Amavot with base in the bottom. So the Mishnah. Sanhedrin Hoiso Kechatzi Goyren Agulo. The Sanhedrin used to sit a half a circle. Goyren is a circle, so they have a semicircle. Why? So the Rashi explains, you want to make sure that all the Dayanim are able to see each other. So they sit in half a circle, everybody can see each other. Why do you make a full circle? Can I make a full circle? Where will the Bali Dinim, if the Bali Dinim go in the middle, only one of them will see their front, one of them will see the back. I want everybody to be able to see their front. So that's why we do a half a circle. Half a circle, everybody sees each other, everybody sees the front of everybody else. You have two seifrim, the right down, two scribes. They write down what everybody says. I was speaking about it a little bit more. We have three. Echad Koisev, Divar Bezaki. Echad Koisev, Divar Bechayvim. Vashlish Koisev, Divar Bezaki, Divar Bechayvim. So one writes the one who said yay, one writes the one who said nay, and one writes both. We'll see in the Gemara why. Continues the Mishnah Daf. It says, you have three rows. Chacham sitting in front of them. Each one knows his place. Meaning you have to add more dayanim, because let's say one of the dayanim disqualified himself, or he said Aini or Deh, I don't know. So you have to go and replace him with one of the Talmidim. So what do? Then you take one of the Talmidim in the first row. Someone from the second row goes to the first row. Then the one from the third row goes to the second row. The Rashi explains how does that work, because it all goes in order. What's the order? You have the Dayanim sitting in the Chashivas, then you have three rows of Talmidim. The first row in the row is the most Chashav of Talmud. And you have three rows. Each row is 23. Right? So you have each row, you have 23. We'll see Rashi in a moment why you have 23 times 3. But you have 23, so the first one is the most Chashav one in that row. Number one, the last one of 23 is the lowest, the most less Chashav. Second row, the top one in the second row is lower than the 23rd one in the first row. So that's how they go in order. You have 1 to 23, 24 to 46, and then you get till you add the whole thing. So therefore, when you have one Dayan disqualified himself, who do you take? The first one in the row. Now everybody moves one seat to the right. Now you miss. So someone from the second row, I mean number one, goes to be the last one in the first row. And then they go on and on. You're missing now a few in the third row. You take someone from the from the nation, from the people outside of the Talmidim, who's next will come up to be part of the base. And that's what Mishnah says. You take someone from the crowd. When you put him in the third row. It doesn't send the first one where that one left. Because that one was number one in the third row. Everybody moves one seat. He's sitting in the 23rd row, 23rd seat in that third row. The Rashi says, look at the first, Rashi explains, why do we got the 23? It says, why? If you have a problem, you have a base and you don't have enough to decide a din, when you have people that want to say that he's chayav, you need to have a roiv of two. You have to add until 71, right? So how many you get? If you started with 71, and you need to come and add. You start 23, and you need to come and add until you reach 71. So how much will that be? 48 to get to 71. Now you don't want to make the row of Talmidim says Rashi 24, because then the Talmidim will be more than the Dayanim. How many Dayanim do you have? 23. How many Talmidim do you have? 24. You have to make a row of 23. So make a row of 23. So that's why I really have to get that third row. When I get the third row, I fill it up to be a full 23. That's what Rashi brings over here. There is the Vilna Gaon that mentions that the cheshbon of the 23, each row of 23 is the number that you have is Sanhedrin Ketana. When you add them all together, you get to the number 69. Right? Because you have 23 times 3 is 69. So that is the number According to Rabbi Yehuda, you have 70 in Sanhedrin, there's 69 regular Dayanim, one was in charge at top. That's the number 70. 69 is the simple number of Dayanim that you have. So going on, how do we know that? How do we know that the Sanhedrin was Chatzi Goy Nagul? Says the Gemara like this. That's a portion of Pasuk. So one's going to dash in the Pasuk. Pasuk Shir Shir. Sararech zu Sanhedrin. That's Sanhedrin. Lamani Krashva Sararech. Shu Yoshev b'tibur shaloyim. Sararech is a loshon of the what? Can you? So the tibur means the middle of the body. The middle of the body is the tibur. So the tibur is sarech is a shaykhis to the tibur, because you have the baby is born, he's connected with the whatever his food is coming through his stomach. So that's the sarech that you talk about over here. So Sanhedrin is tibur shalom. What does tibur shalom mean? According to Rashi, means in Yerushalayim, which is in the middle of the world. Agan, why it's called Agan? Shemigina koleil kulor. Hasar shidoyim el hasar. That's what it means. Oh, half what the sar is the moon, half a circle. Al yechsar mozak. Shemutzu rechod nehem latzeis urim yesh v'sim shloish keneget senekitanu yoytzev imlav inu yoytzev. So if you have a Sanhedrin of 71, you have to make sure that you have how many. You always have to have and basically a minimum amount. How much is it? Says the Torah al yechsar mozak. Make sure not to have mezigo. What's the mezigo? So here's one of the rayas. Tais brings it to speaks about it in a few places in Shas. The mezigo is for every third of wine, you put 2/3 of water. How we have, the Gemara always brings you you put 3/4 of water for 1/4 of wine. But we know there is a mezigo like that as well. What's the mezigo? 1/3 of wine, 2/3 of water. So if I want to take a Sanhedrin and divide it into 3. What is the division into 3? So if I do 23 times 3, that's 69. So 23, and you have 71, but it's not divisible. So you come and do 23, you say you have to have at least a third of basic. This is what basic means 23. So 23 is that if basic, you have to leave, you have to make sure that always at Sanhedrin will be 23 people sitting. Says the Gemara, yeah. Now the more goes on and it says, the pasuk, the hemshich pasuk in Shirashim, it says, your stomach. This is one of the nice compliments that you see the older age used to do. You want to tell a woman that she looks very nice. You said that your stomach is big as a pile of wheat. Today you can't say that to a woman. But then that was a big shvach. That was a very nice thing. She has a very big stomach. It means she's healthy, she eats, she's rich. So binda chayamat chitim, ma'arimat chitim, akol ne'enim imeno, av Sanhedrin, akol ne'enim tameh. So we talk about Sanhedrin. Everybody enjoys it like you enjoy the wheat. Now suga b'shushanim, again, the hemshich of suga over here. Suga b'shushanim means it's surrounded. It's fenced with roses. Shafilu kisuga shushanim leifitzu ben partus. You don't violate the fence, even though the fence is a flower fence, which is very attractive. As the Ben Yehuda points out, people don't go and try to penetrate that fence. What does it mean? This mean tells Kana, I don't believe something about you guys. You Jews, I don't believe. You say that an isha nido, have a woman, she's nido, can she be alone with her husband? Obviously, yes. That's what we do today, right? Can you have fire in the catches on to the straw and it doesn't light up? What do you mean? A man and a woman will be together alone in the house, and you say she's a nido, so therefore and they're not going to be together. Yes, yes, we have a promise with suga b'shushanim, which means we have a surrounding. We have there's a fence, and the fence is a beautiful fence. It's not a thorn fence. It's a nice fence. It's a positive fence. It's a flower fence. Plants will not be penetrated. It says in the following. It says in the pasuk, Even the big Rishayim, the Rikanim, are full of mitzvahs. So that's what basically guards them. Says, and the Gemara goes on and says, in other words, when it says that Yitzchak smelled the clothing of Yaakov, he smelled the clothing. What's the clothing? The rebellions. Even the rebellions are tzaddikim. So you could trust Am Yisrael. The Gemara says, there was these mobsters in the neighborhood of Zero. He would always take care of them and speak to them and be very nice to them. They wanted them to do tshuva. Rabbanon were not very happy with this. They said, well, why be kind of them? They're bad people. Until now, we had the person who had small burned feet. Why small burned feet? Rashi brings over here that Bezero one time went into the oven and he got burned because he was doing an embarrassed honey, right? He wanted to check himself in the oven. So he went in the oven, his legs were burned from the oven. He went in to check himself to see if he's going to be nitzel midinish again. And he burned his feet because he was worried about it. And he said, you do support Anim, but not like your wife. So he said, till now we had this person, he died for us. Who's going to die for us? Going on. So they felt bad and they did. So in other words, he was the current, and that's what made them, they knew right, how to rely on. Once he was gone, they had nobody to rely on. You have 3 rows of Tamidim. Like we said before, everyone switches seat because they go in order. So the top one goes into the Sanhedrin, then the one number 2 goes the next one, etc. He said, 1 second. The guy who's the top of the second row, what was he in the second row? Number 1. Question of a guy, he's number 1 on the second row. Now he's going to move a seat. Where he's going to be now? It's going to be number 23 on the first row. But still, you're nobody. You go to you're leaving from a place that you're the number 1, you're the Rav, you're the Chashuv, and now nobody looks good. Oh, so he wants. Should always be the last of the arayas because that's going to make you have what to progress to. It's not the top of the shualim. We have nowhere to go. So how do you go? The Mishnah. So the Mishnah. How do you go and you scare the Eidim? Or you try to make sure they don't say something wrong? Maybe your approximation. You have to do an approximate. You not really know exactly. Maybe you heard something, a rumor, or even ADP8. You heard it from somebody else. Maybe you heard it from somebody that you trust. We're going to investigate you. We're going to cross-reference you. It's not the same thing. If a person went and he stole or he lied about money, so he pays back and it's all correct. A person causes somebody else to die when he's not supposed to die. His blood and the blood of his children, wherever was supposed to be born from him, is all on him the rest of his life. Cain killed his brother. Says Shmuel told Cain, the bloods of your brother is screaming. It didn't say blood. Bloods, plural. It's him and his kids. Another reason why it says many bloods, because it wasn't in one place, it was all over. You spread out the blood. Continues the vision, it says the This is why an Adam is born alone. Meaning Adam or Isha was born alone with nobody else with him. This is a very common sentence we're using today. Person who kills one person, Same Adam or Isha was the only one in the world. Every individual is like that only one in the world. One who saves the life of Israel, as if he saved the whole world. Or that's a reason why Adam Rishon was created alone. Or another reason why Adam Rishon was created alone. Should not be fighting. My father's greater than your father, all come from the same person. Also, that the meaning, the ones that are kaifer, should not say, oh, two people were created, each one had his own God. Another thing. The person creates many coins with one temple. They all look alike. They all were created in the image of the Rishon. Nobody looks alike. Now that we learned that the Rishon was created alone, every person is also in that same category. I'm alone. Go back to the Eidim. Tell the Eidim, and that I'm inside my base. Say, you know what do we need this headache? I'm not getting involved. Says in the pasuk, if you don't testify, it's an aveira. Says, you know what? I know it's an aveira. But if we make a mistake and we kill him, it's worse. So better to do an aveira and not kill a person. No, don't worry. If he deserves to die, it's a good thing. Because Baruch Hu wants, that means he deserves, he's a Rasha, he's a wicked person, he deserves to die, so that's the right thing to do. Says the Torah, what does it mean, Muhammad? Look how, what extreme Sanhedrin goes to say that we're not going to just assume that someone is a killer. What is the case? You saw him running after his friend into a broken home. You're running after him. And you see him holding a sword. And there's blood dripping from the sword. And right there, you see the friend on the floor, stabbed, dying. Right? So everything is indicating that he's probably the killer. But you didn't see him killing. So exactly. In nothing. We don't kill based on that. And the more brings a similar price regarding the Tanya. Means that it's a notion of a shvuah, klala. However, the chama and other if it won't tell you it's not true. Same story. One running after his friend to a deserted home. I see him with a sword, and his blood dripping from the sword. There's the person is dying. I'm not to Russia. Says, who killed this person? Meaning there's only me and you over here. So either I'm the killer or you're the killer. And I know I'm not. I can't kill you. You have 2 Eidim inside. I don't have 2 Eidim inside. He will take revenge. Akash Baruch will take care of it. He died from the stake. So why did he die from a stake? Why is he dying from a stake? Even though Sanhedrin is not here, we don't have our rabbis are still there. So he says it doesn't not only when Bisilish was Nechav, even before that, when Sanhedrin moved out of Lishkas Agazis. What do you mean there's loy batal? Of course there's batal. Hello, dinar b'mitzvah loy batal, meaning the punishment of mitzvah still exists. Someone's chayav skila. How do you do skila? We'll see it later in the Masechta. You throw him from a height from the roof. So he also falls. How does he fall? He either falls from the roof or a animal pushes him to the ground. Which is kind of straightforward, a bit lake, or someone has to get burned, or a bit lake, he falls into a fire, or the snake puts his venom, which is equivalent to a fire. Which is chayav a rigo, or nimsal malchus, or listing boy whoever has rigo, so either the king kills him, or at least kohanim. Which is chayav chenek, someone who's chayav chaniko, or tivya he either drowns, or he mes b'sar nichi, which is a type of sickness that goes into the throat. So what do you see? This guy who killed is supposed to get sword, but he got a snake. Snake is fire. There was another chait bed. It wasn't his only chait. It was another chait. Yeah. This was one chait he had. He had another chait. So this he deserved straight for something else, and that's why he was bitten by a snake. Says the approximation. One second. You want to tell me that Dini Mominus you do go based on approximate? Of course, that's Kemaka Avach. That goes like she does Avach. You have a camel causing damage among the other camels. What is the Oichab and Agamolim? Actually, there's two explanations. Either it's having Be'ila with a female camel, or it's biting. If it needs a Gamal, but you see a Gamal kill next to him. You didn't see the camel killing the other camel. But you see, there's a camel going wild. He probably killed it. You assume that. That's what Avach holds. So no, that's not a right. Maybe we don't hold like Avach. Maybe you hold also by Dini Mominus you to know. So why only with Dini Nefashos we ask this question? So the time any PA Diktani with Dini Nefashos. No Diktani. It says by us, one of the things it says, you now have an 80 P8. You can't have an 8 saying, oh, I heard another 8 saying. Someone said, I'm Mishnah. So Dini Nefashos do that, Mina Dini Mominus Mina. You want to tell me that by monetary issues you do rely on ADP8? Someone says, I heard him telling somebody else. Someone told him, his chayv moment. Not enough to hear for somebody else. So why in Din Mominus, we spoke with Din Mominus, we didn't mention that we asked them if it's ADP8. Only Din Fash you mentioned. How I've got the psil within moments, I'm really within the flushes. Now I've got the psil within moments, I'm really within the flushes. Meaning, the fact that we're mentioning in our Mishnah, what are the questions in the flushes, is something which is a problem within moments as well, doesn't mean that it's not a problem within moments. We just mentioned a question in flushes that we didn't that also applies within moments. Right? And Rashi says within moments, even though you're possible in that case, but in moments. But we're not going to get so involved in it because why not? Because we don't want to get into the whole all the questions. We're not going to be me'ayim, and we're not going to threaten them so much. Says the Gemara, "Are you ever yoidim? You should know." Right? We told him you should know. We're gonna come and investigate you, etc. And then he says you should know that Adam Rishon that if you kill somebody. It's not only him, it's also all the children. We bring the story of Cain. He learns he damaged in many places. He didn't know how to kill him. There were new creatures in the world. He wasn't sure how to kill a human being. So he tried every place in his body until he died. So that's why it's called domain. From the day that the earth opened its mouth and received the blood of Hevel, so he says, what's the big thing? Receive the blood. Always blood goes into it. He says, but then there's always some sign. There's always some residue that's left. By Hevel, there's nothing left. Then they open the open mouth, down open it again. Shinayim kaf oritz zemiras shamanu tzvi latzadik mikanafar tzelo yipi oritz. So, in other words, when it says later that we're going to have, hey, right, we have a knafa, there will be in the edge of the aretz, there will be songs coming. It doesn't say the mouth because the aretz is not opening its mouth anymore. Says the Gemara, Chizkiah asked, reviewed his brother. It says it says by Koirach that the orange did open its mouth. Here we're talking about it's a good thing. Because Adam opened the mouth, took the blood of Hevel, you don't have a sign of it. But here we're talking about something which is a bad thing. Galus, when someone goes to Galus, it takes away half the Aveira. Because in the beginning it says by Kain Navinot, two clothes. So why? Because he went to Galus, so he had only one cloth. Galus takes away three problems. Someone who stays in the Yerushalayim, he will die sword, hunger, and plague. The one who leaves the city, meaning goes to Galus, he will be saved. So he will be saved from these three things: hunger, sword, and plague. Goes the whole thing. This pasuk, as Rashi says, is referring to the Yechenya Melech Yehuda. Came across, says you're not going to have any children that are going to be good. He won't be a leader, won't be a king in Klais. Then when he went to Golo, Yechenya Ksiv, then Yechenya Osir Shaltiel Benoy. He had his son in Shaltiel, and then went up to Shaltiel, became a king afterwards. See, a king, we can say he was the son. He said you're not going to have a son. So he says, why is it called Osir? Because she got pregnant in jail. Shaltiel sheshot loikel. It was a nace with Shamayim. Now what? That wasn't a normal way a person gets pregnant. We know that a woman cannot get pregnant if she's standing. She did. What does it mean? The Rashi says he was in a small in a small cell. You can lay down there. Only stand up. And they brought the woman into the cell. It was like a small pit, and they were standing, and he did Beila, and that's she got pregnant. Meaning Kodesh Baruch Hu said that he will never have a son, and he did. He was matir the shua. It says was matir the shua, and he allowed him to have it. What is Zerubbabel? It says that pasuk and then another name. Shenizra beBavel. He was planted in Bavel. Umashmoy. Who is the name of this person, the son of Yechenya Melech Yehuda? Chemya ben Chakiloyo Shmo. That's Chemya. Chemya was a leader of Klais. So he had a son who not only had a son, he had a son who was a leader. So why happened? Because he went to Golus. But the Golus goes the Chapes HaKol. That took more hands. The Golus is something does full kappa. Second, Rabbi said full daf. Then I got this over here. We will have probably at least 2 shor machshavos on this daf, and Beis Hashem will continue from here tomorrow night. Hold on.